The Block is making a tree change, and the Official Block podcast is where we drill into the details. New episodes every Monday, thanks to Simmons, the great Australian builder. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
9 podcasts.
Good evening, everybody. What is the best thing about Hellway?
It's over.
Hello and welcome to the Block podcast with me, Shelley Craft. Multiple rooms, huge hallways, painting jobs that seemed absolutely endless, and the weather that just made it all worse. This was a Hellway week that truly lived up to its name.
We've never had conditions like this ever.
There is just so much mud.
But while it might have been a muddy hell for the contestants, the judges had a different word.
Heaven. A word he used a lot today, considering it was Hellway.
Up soon, Judge Shaynna Blaze on what she found sublime as she strolled the halls.
This is a hallway?
Then, what a week for your first win. We finally get to have a yarn with the pride of Palm Beach, Dylan and Jenny.
This morning I thought we were done, but we're back. Woo.
Hit follow or subscribe wherever you're listening to us right now and never miss a moment of the Official Block podcast. Thanks to Simmons Homes. Simmons, the great Australian builder. Talk about a journey between heaven and hell for our beloved judge Shaynna Blaze. This week, both were just a hallway away. Shaynna, welcome back to the Block podcast.
Oh my God. You know what? We've seen a lot of Hell Weeks, but this one was monumental.
Well, just the amount of areas, wasn't it? It wasn't just a hallway. We're talking mudrooms, we're talking laundries, we're talking, I think each house had about 3 hallways to contend with. And there's so much, you know, like everything on the block this year, bigger and badder than ever before. So they really were these weird little spaces that have to bring everything together.
Yeah.
How on earth do you do it with grace and charm?
That's the thing. You don't realise how important the hallways are until you're trying to connect all the rooms. And that's, you know, we keep saying make sure your houses connect. Because once you put in the hallways, if they're not connecting, it's so obvious. And how to do it with grace? You can't do it with grace on the block. You just can't.
Well, look, we know you have this beautiful personal animation, and this week that really went the full spectrum of your capabilities. We had some really high highs, we had some really low lows. What was it about these spaces that actually got you, for better or worse?
They were full of personality. We've seen so many hallway weeks where there's no personality, and it's just like, you know, let's just do it all white with the rug. And it's like, that does not make a hallway. But I think the fact that this series, we have seen so much personality, and that ignites me too, because you get excited, but also you go down the other way too, where it's just like the balance isn't right.
Maybe it's like your first date. You've just got to kind of hold back on a bit of that personality sometimes to not scare everyone away.
Yeah, just a little bit. Don't give everyone everything in one go. And the thing is also that these rooms are the transition. So what it is, you know, you've got all this explosive personality in the lounge room, in the bedrooms, and this is meant to guide you and calm you through. It's not meant to stop you. And if you're in a space that makes you be confronted and it makes you go, huh? Where am I? Well, I have no idea what's going on. It's a problem.
Yeah, we saw a couple of problems.
Just a few.
Look, let's cut to the chase.
Let's just get the elephant out the room.
Okay, Unks and Sharon. Look, we know they're having a bad time, and I don't want to pick on them because I appreciate how hard it is, and I understand now the difficulties that they were having with their builders. We always knew there was this conflict, and we always thought they were getting rubbed up the wrong way, but now I think they're being taken serious advantage of, to be honest. And we saw that play out in Lounge Room Week, and this week on Hallway Week, it's almost like they've just thrown them under the bus pretty much and said, yeah, do whatever you want. We don't care how crazy you go. And they went crazy.
I think it's a two-way street though. I do have empathy for both sides. I really do. I think the builders have been worn down by Unks and Sharon. And now at the time where Unks and Sharon need them the most,
they're not there.
They're a bit done.
True. And I know that Sharon has big ideas, and I know that the drama that she brought to that hallway was something that she really, really wanted. And this is the battle that I've had with her. That's a great idea, but perhaps you need to tone it down.
Yeah.
But, you know, she's a big character, and there was a lot of character in that hallway.
Look, I think that's part of what we've loved about Sharon is like, the master ensuite and then the master bedroom, like that was beautiful, but it was elegant and measured and it was over the top. You could have edited a little bit, but it was beautiful. And I do remember saying there, just be careful, just be careful. You can't go any further than what this is. But it wasn't just big personality, the confusion in that room. Unfortunately for them, this is my soul, those beautiful Victorian homes. And to see it just not get the elevation that it should have had and bringing in 5 different styles, it felt like a theatre restaurant in the fact of like, whoa, 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 but nothing was cohesive, nothing worked. And a lot of elements that were in there didn't work with the rooms that you were walking into. The other one was, she hasn't been listening about respecting the building. They've been given this gift. It is the biggest house. It's the highest point of the hill. This is the grand dame. I've got a grand dame. Respect her. And it tells its own story. And that's where you've got to stand back in your design and let the house tell the story, not be about your story.
But who knows? Come auction day, Shaynna, who knows? It is there on top of the hill. It is the grand dame.
Yes.
So you can undo a lot of that. The structure is there. The builders have done a beautiful job with that. If it just means kind of toning some things down once you've got her for yourself, we might see these guys take out the auction. Who knows?
Who knows? As you said, somebody just went, this is my heart. This is what I want. Yeah, I'll change a few colours or whatever.
Or they might find that beautifully perfect, eccentric purchaser that, has loved it all the way through the series. And we've seen that happen before as well.
We've seen it more than
we
once.
have, which is why I love auction days so much. Oh, my goodness. All right, moving on to some of the other hallways. A lot of unfinished spaces as well.
Yes.
Are you a little bit more lenient when you realise that every house has struggled with the enormity of the week? Like, do the judges actually take that on board, that this was not just Hellway week, this was Hellway times 5?
Absolutely. And I think it is that empathy you've got to have, because it's a week. It's an actual week to do all this. Like, that could be months in a normal build schedule, in a design schedule. So what I admire is I didn't see anyone give up. At the end of the day, we have to give a score as though a buyer has walked in the room.
Yeah.
So no one's ever going to get a 10 if it's not finished. But sometimes there's a little bit of maybe half or 1.4, just giving it a damn good go and not giving up.
No, and again, when you see one team finish, it can be done.
Exactly.
And I know that's what Jules, our producer, always says. He goes, if one team can do it, it's possible. If no teams have done it, maybe it was too hard. But Dylan and Jenny, they sure put in some serious effort, hours, and I think there was that lovely synergy between what they've created in their house and their hallway this week.
Yeah.
It didn't feel as clunky as some of the other homes.
Theirs was probably, honestly, one of the hardest because it was the longest hallway in history.
Oh my God, it was like, I felt like jumping on a skateboard and just flying down, and you just keep going and going until you hit the fireplace, wouldn't you?
And I love the fact that they, once you went down the steps, and they did do a little seating point of that big window that looked out to our favourite
view of all time, isn't it? Yes. Pride Rock, we've called it, I think. Yeah.
It's so Pride Rock. But I think that's just a moment to breathe, because it's so vast, you don't know where to go. And I think, considering their styling was always a hard thing right from the start, I think they nailed it. I think they had the simplicity and the execution to perfection, and the way it flowed into their butler's pantry, their mudroom. They didn't miss a beat. Simple is sometimes the way to go.
Yeah. Can I ask how much art is too much art? Over the course of, as long as you and I have been on the show, we've seen art becomes such a huge part of the interior design, which it is in any home. But I sometimes feel like it's just there for the sake of it.
Yeah.
I feel like you've just thrown it up there because, you've got to fill a wall. I don't feel that way in my own home, but is that something? Or do you buy art because it is this special sort of emotive piece that you've fallen in love with? Or is it just something to fill the walls? Or how do you find that balance between the two?
Well, it's two different things, putting up art for sale and for a house for sale, and putting up art for your home. It's art's always got to have an emotional connection for your home, because you're the one sitting in it. If you're doing it just for the colours, to fit the room, then it's lost its soul, it's lost its purpose. But that's what we do to sell a house. We match the colours, so we make it all happen. Has it got the same sort of concept? Is it abstract? People aren't there to buy the art, they're there to feel the emotion in the room, and the art brings that to it. What happens is a lot of people think, every 3 steps, blank place. Need that. But what it is the art is the focal point to drive you to the next space. It's not about stopping you in all those parts. So, with a really large hallway, if you're having lots of artwork everywhere, you have to turn it into a gallery. So it has to be a purposeful gallery. Otherwise, it just looks like a long stretch with blocks on the wall.
Mm-hmm. And I think we'll see that done to perfection in Scotty's house. I don't want to give away too much, but his hallway is to die for.
And I think the thing is that Scotty's house, he's showing how to make a home.
Which is different, isn't it?
It's so different because you can be more eclectic.
Oh, but that's tough because we're showing it to the contestants and this is how it's done. But that is how it's done if you're going to live in it as your forever for now home.
But then the way I see Scotty's home also is that I could see somebody just taking in a suitcase and saying, I'm home.
Yeah.
You can sell a house like that when it feels like it's lived in, and that's the difference of decorating quirky to sell as opposed to making the house look like it's always been there. So people feel the soul in the walls. And that's what's happening in Scotty's house.
Isn't it just? Oh my God,
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. But I am finding the contestants are creating that. I particularly love Rachel and Ryan's home. I don't think I've kept any secrets about that throughout the piece because for 2 reasons. They're doing enough to make you feel at home when you're in there, I believe, but you can still see where you could inject your own personality. I find Tom and Sarah Jane's house has a real personality now. We've got so many rooms in place. You sort of feel like you know the owner. Whereas Rachel and Ryan, I'm like, I could be the owner of this home. Is that because I'm a bit more bland?
Oh, God, no. You have a lot more sort of contemporary nods to your home and what you do. Tom and Sarah Jane are creating that boutique country lifestyle, whereas Rachel and Ryan are creating something that is it is boutique at the same, but it's a contemporary boutique. For me, the turning point was the living room. That put the soul back into it. Some of the rooms, they were just going too contemporary too early.
Right.
And I feel like they're putting more soul into the contemporary part of the house than what they were doing in the period part of the house, because I feel like it's clicked with them. They're still being respectful to what their style is, but I'm loving what they're doing. And when we went into their mud room and their laundry, I just felt like saying, hallelujah, they get it, because what they did in there is what the butler's pantry should have been.
Right, yes.
And I love the fact, as much as they're sticking to their guns, they are listening and they are making changes. And I feel every day from now, I'm stepping into a soulful home.
Oh, look, the growth for all of them is extraordinary. And again, what I love about this process isn't just the design and the building. I love how much our contestants grow personally, in their relationships, in their design and building capabilities. It's just the most extraordinary evolution of humans that I get to experience.
Look, we're so close. We're at that pointy end, and it's just, this is where the exhaustion has to be put aside. Now, after this hell week, they need to just rally and go, look where we've come. The doors are closed. We've sealed the house. It's time to just get the rest done and enjoy it and forge forward.
Welcome to the block. Oh, it's so lovely to chat to you. Let's do this again.
Absolutely. Look, we could talk it all day. I know we do sometimes.
I know we could.
Anyway.
Yes, we will. I'll see you soon.
So much fun. Bye.
Bye. The Official Block podcast is sponsored by Simmons, the great Australian builder. Every day at Simmons, our people stand by our promise to be with you throughout your new home journey. Over the last 70 years, Simmons have seen and dealt with it all. And despite today's trade and material shortages, our size and strong relationships means we'll deliver on what we promise. So if you're ready to join the thousands of Australians we're welcoming home each month, talk to Simmons, the great Australian builder. Find out more at simmons.com.au. CDB-U 49491. Just when it feels like the block can't get any bigger, another week rolls round and somehow it does. And this podcast is the perfect place to unpack everything that goes on. Make sure you tap follow or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts to never miss a minute. A young fit couple consisting of not just one, but two tradies already in the midst of putting together their own dream home. Now, that is a match for the block if I've ever seen one. And yet, maybe it's the enormity of the task or the strength of the competition, but it's taken us this long to get to have a chat to them. Never mind, we're here now. With much delight, I would like to welcome you, the winners of Hell Week, Dylan and Jenny. Welcome to the Block Podcast, guys, finally.
Oh,
Thanks
you
for having us,
us.
Shell.
I'm so glad to be here.
Been hanging out for this day.
I know.
Yeah, well, imagine if you hadn't won a room, I would have never got to chat to you.
No, we would have come on.
Get the wild card.
Yeah.
Hijacked someone else's conversation. Well, congrats on your first win. And this week, of all weeks, the toughest week ever on the block. Why? Was this your breakthrough? Were you just hungry this week, or do you think you've been perhaps dogged in other weeks?
Yeah, we were, I think, hungrier than ever this week. But I think we were more going with our gut. So living room week, I just went with what I thought that judges wanted to see. So this week I just thought I'm just going to go with my gut and do exactly what we want to do.
Us.
Yeah, and then it paid off.
Let's do us. What are we, like week 42 and you've just decided to do you? Are you serious?
Week one would have been a good start, wouldn't it?
That would have, yes. Yeah. But it is. It's overwhelming, isn't it? Like, let's talk about your block experience so far. Young, beautiful couple, just engaged, and then you decide to come on the block. Is the wedding still on?
Yes, the wedding is still on. 24th of March. We're so glad we got through it, because at one point there I was just thinking, oh my gosh, how are we going to get through this?
And not winning any of those weeks, you know, your budget was drying up very, very quickly.
Oh yeah, from like now on in, we were the only builders pretty much working because we couldn't afford to pay anyone else. Hey, Dill.
That is correct. we needed to win.
It's amazing the amount of people that say over the years have said to all of us on the show, oh, surely when you're a builder, you've got a leg up. Dylan and Jen, you're a chippy as well. It didn't make it any easier for you guys, did it?
I don't think it's the biggest advantage at all, because really, as I was saying to Jen, like everyone else, all the other contestants, if they weren't builders, they've still got builders on site.
Yeah.
For me, knowing that I could do so much, so even when it was tools down, I could still feel the need to always keep going. Like there was never felt like there was time I could just be like, oh, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I'll just go to bed.
Yeah.
So I think that's what ruined me as well. Like maybe Tommy had a good, and the boys had a good being a plumber. You do the wet areas, do the plumbing, and then the other weeks you really just sort of cleaning up.
And is that how you got so far? Because you were saving, obviously, on having builders there full time because you two could do the work. That's how your budget has lasted this long without a win?
Exactly. We are in the red. We were in the red, and that's how we didn't go much further than that, because as we could see that we weren't winning rooms and we were going in the red, we just started keeping people away. Yeah. We thought we're just going to have to do more and more until we snag a win. Yeah. And then we can start bringing them back in.
But even then, so I feel like any money you win on the block, it just gets chewed up in 2 seconds. So yeah, even when you do win, I feel like you need to just keep winning. Otherwise, I don't know. Yeah,
and rooms are so big this year as well.
Rooms are huge.
Yeah, that's it. It's not the big high five moment in it, is it? It's just like, oh, phew, we can turn up tomorrow. So yes, look, the fact that you're sitting here with us, you're still laughing. Hey, what did the two of you learn about each other during the process?
Oh, I didn't realise how, I guess it sounds corny, but strong we are. Like, I didn't realise we could stay up all night and keep going and like never give up.
I knew that Jen was very hard worker and wouldn't give up on anything, but I could get to that hour of a morning and you realise, nah, we're not sleeping again. And then Jen would kick into another gear in her trackies with the beanie and some dirty jumper on and pick up another pace. And I'm like, far out, this girl's crazy.
If she doesn't stop, there's no way you're allowed to stop.
Yeah, that's what I was like, I was wishing you want to go to bed or something.
I'm like, we can't go to bed otherwise we won't finish.
Are you sitting down to watch yourselves on the block every night? And what's that experience like, seeing yourselves on the telly?
Seeing ourselves on TV, it's different. We've really enjoyed watching it because we had a great experience. So it's just interesting seeing what everyone else got up to as well.
We're finding out as well as Australia what happened each day, like confrontations with Keith and Dan.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, we had no idea what was going on, did we?
Yeah, well, no one's going to tell you when they've got in trouble with the, principal, are they? Dylan, have your tradies said, are they watching you? Have they given you any stick over what's happening? or some of your building practice? You said that they're saying, mate, we should just slow down now. We don't need to work at block pace anymore. But have you inspired any of them to audition for the block next season?
No, I reckon I've put them off. Well, I've got one of my mates came down to do some tiling with us.
Yeah.
He drove down from the Gold Coast. And
Yeah.
he was just like, after the week, he goes, oh, I need to get back. I don't know how you did it for 12 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you could have stayed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need a bit more help, mate. No, he's in his car and he is, Gisborne, turned left and never saw him again. What about your dad, Dylan? I know he's a builder. Has he been questioning your work, or is he, obviously very proud of how things have been going so far?
Yeah, no, he's very proud of Jen and myself. And Dad being Dad, he's always on our side. He goes, oh, you should have won that one, mate. I was like, yeah. Cheers, Dad.
He's block obsessed, isn't he?
Yeah.
I feel like if he was a little bit younger, he'd try and apply. He loves it.
But he works in a plumbing shop back in Sydney.
Yeah.
And he's just dropping it to everyone. I don't think the conversation even gets their names out, and Dad's telling us that we're on the block and, have you seen their rooms?
Or any magazine we've been in, he has all the magazines open at the shop and showing people. He's
tactically
so proud.
open on the page.
Yeah, he's so cute.
That's how it should be, because there's so many processes on the block. I've come from a TV background basically, so I love the concept of what we're doing as a production of making television. You're coming in as a builder and you love the building process, but then there's the new game starts in a couple of weeks when the houses are all wrapped up and we start talking auctions, and that's another game altogether.
Yeah.
And then the judges are running their own show and their own ship. That must be fun to watch on Sunday nights. I know Scotty reads the feedback, but then when the editors cut in the judges actually in your rooms, how have you found watching that process and hearing it from the horse's mouth, so to speak?
Well, yeah, that's what I enjoy the most. I actually look forward to Sundays to see, because, you do hear it from Scotty, seeing their reactions and what they actually say is completely different, I feel. And I'm like, I wish I could see them on judging night, because I think you'd get more of an understanding of what they're trying to say.
Even just seeing the emotion on someone's face when they say it and their body language.
Yeah.
I feel like when we watched it, they're always so nice to us.
They were a lot nicer than what we thought when Scotty might have said something kind of bad. We're like, oh, they actually weren't that bad.
He says it with a very straight face, doesn't he?
He does. He doesn't
Scotty.
give much away.
He says
but
it like he's almost disappointed in you.
Yeah, that's just to keep you on your toes, Dill. That's what that's for.
Yeah, exactly.
But you found it obviously a little bit confusing sometimes. I'm just going back to your first room that you produced. Your guest bedroom was gorgeous. It was beautiful. I walked in there and fell in love immediately. And I do believe that a lot of the contestants took their cues from that room about how they were going to move forward with their houses. And you were just pipped at the post on that one.
I know. We were so close.
It's crazy how the block works. Like that, as you say, Cheryl, that room, that was only week 2.
Yeah.
And we were on to something with that room. But then you're just exhaustion, a little bit desperate for a win. You start trying to overcomplicate things and chasing, can we do any more? When that room, if you just did that and tweaked it a little bit, that was a beautiful room that you could just recreated, really.
Yeah, I think that's where you go wrong if you second guess yourself. Like with that guest bedroom, I was so confident that it was going to look so good. So then I feel like when we didn't win, and then the next week I was almost overthinking, and that never works.
Oh, that's an old trap for new players, that one.
It is.
That questioning yourself and double guessing.
I feel like with us, we were just learning. We're very coastal. We're so beachy boho. So the country style was, now I think I know.
We didn't know the judges were going to just be adamant they wanted the country, but we ended up liking the style.
It makes sense now though, doesn't it? Yeah.
Not in the heart of Palm Beach on the Goldie, though. You can go back to your coastal roots now.
Well, yeah, it's kind of funny. We're choosing bedheads and all of our furniture for our Palm Beach house, and it's just funny what our style is to what we had on the block is so different.
Well, you survived Hell Week, and in fact, you thrived in Hell Week. So congratulations to the two of you. That was a phenomenal effort, and the fact that you're still sitting here and you're still laughing and you're still together, I guess, is a real indicator to our audience. Yeah. I'm sure you've been listening to the podcast, and you know that we play a little game with our contestants every week. So guess what you get to play?
Okay, what are we playing?
Heaven and Hell.
Give it to me.
Oh, well, I've got to say, after the hell week that you've had and toughing it out for so long on the block in general, you deserve some rest, some relaxation, and maybe even a little bit of a treat.
Ooh.
I guess the trouble is, what's nice for some is not so nice for others. Maybe there's even disagreements between the two of you. So I'm going to name some things. And Dylan and Jen, I'd like you to tell me whether this is your idea of heaven or whether this is your idea of hell.
All right, go.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
A foot massage.
Oh, hell.
Don't like people touching your toes.
We're so
I reckon
ticklish.
I'm the most ticklish person known.
We both are.
God, you're just so cute, you two. I can just...
If I get a pedicure, I'm like, oh, quick, hurry up. I'm
There's
so
both of
ticklish.
us. Oh, hell.
Okay, this one. A full day of shopping.
Oh, heaven.
Hell.
Hell.
But no, it's hell, but I'm still always there to the end.
I make him come shopping with me. He hates
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, but he loves you in whatever you get, Jen,
Yeah.
so he's lucky,
Yeah,
isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, a snow trip.
Heaven.
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 Yeah, I'm surprised you're not having a winter wedding. I'm surprised you're not doing some kind
I
of
know.
mad
Ooh.
snow princess theme down there.
Ooh, a winter wedding. Maybe we could go skiing for a honeymoon. That'd be fun.
Good
Austria.
Austria.
Oh, okay. Well, see how you go at the auction first. You might be at Perry.
Don't start.
You might be at Smiggen's Hole, or you might be
Or we
in
might be in
Austria.
France.
Take the T-bar up Smiggins. Go backcountry even, can't afford the ticket.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, fingers crossed for you at auction day. Okay, here's another one. Some hot yoga. Heaven or hell.
Ooh, heaven for me. What about you, Jill?
Hell. I can't touch my toe.
Well, that's lucky because they're ticklish. You don't need to.
Yeah. Even if I could, I wouldn't.
Yeah, that's right. A big steak dinner.
Heaven.
Heaven-ish? Yeah, heaven.
Oh,
I'm trying to think. Do I like a big
this
steak
is
dinner?
Jen.
Yeah.
Heaven for Jen. She'd whinge about how full she is for the next 2 hours after.
Yeah, that's hell. Just rolling home
Hell,
with a full
maybe
tummy.
hell.
There. What about a big steak dinner with coriander sauce?
Oh, Jill hates
What do you reckon?
coriander.
Hell.
I'm heaven. I love
It's
coriander.
like Omo washing liquid to me. Reminded me of Mum when she washed my mouth out with soap when I was a kid. Thanks, Jody.
I had that treatment too, thanks, Sally. Yes. Surprise parties. Oh, this is contentious.
Ooh, heaven. I like a surprise.
Oh, could go either way. I reckon I'm Switzerland. Is it for us or is it for someone else? I'm all about a party, but if it was just, I don't know, maybe at the start, 10 minutes in, it's heaven. At the start, about, wish I was here early for pre-drinks.
What about, okay, last one, renovating a massive heritage home in the Macedon Ranges, heaven or hell?
Heaven.
Heaven if we don't do it in 12 weeks.
Yeah. Give me a bit longer next time, please.
Heaven. Love every minute of it.
Would you guys do it again? Would you come back as All-Stars?
Oh, for
I will.
sure. Yeah.
Yes?
Maybe not next year, but the year after, let's go.
You're madder than I thought.
We definitely are.
Thank you so much for joining us. It was lovely to finally get to chat to you.
Yay. About time.
Thanks, Shell.
We'll catch up with you again soon, I hope.
Bye.
This week, a whole week to produce a single guest bedroom, and most couples are aiming at a kids' room. Scotty meant it to be as a breather, but will it be child's play for everyone? Don't miss a minute of The Block on 9 or our exclusive chats with the contestants and judges afterward. Just follow the official Block podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. The Block podcast is thanks to Simmons Homes, the great Australian builder. I'll catch you next week. The official Block podcast is sponsored by Simmons, the great Australian builder. Every day at Simmons, our people stand by our promise to be with you throughout your new home journey. Over the last 70 years, Simmons have seen and dealt with it all. And despite today's trade and material shortages, our size and strong relationships means we'll deliver on what we promise. So if you're ready to join the thousands of Australians we're welcoming home each month, talk to Simmons, the great Australian builder. Find out more at simmons.com.au. CDB-U 49491.